All right, there is sort of an extra thing that we have to think about here when we're solving inequalities. So with equal signs, everything's equal. That makes things nice and easy. But with inequalities, there's a rule when we're dealing with negative coefficients. Remember, coefficients, that's just the number that's attached to the variable. So in this case, the coefficient is -3. Well, here's the special thing when we're doing when we multiply and divide with negative numbers. We have to flip whatever our inequality sign is. So for example, let's solve this one like we normally would. We're going to draw a line down our inequality that says -3h is greater than 72. Remember, these are next to each other. That's a coefficient, so we're multiplying. The opposite of multiplication would be to divide each side by -3. -3 divided by -3 makes 1, and we're left with that. We're left with our variable of h. 72 divided by -3 is going to make -24. But here's where the tricky part comes in. Remember our inequality of greater than? Well, whenever we are multiplying or dividing by a negative coefficient, we then have to flip that inequality. So instead of being greater than, we're going to say h is less than -24. That's what makes this a true statement for an inequality. And remember, it works for multiplication and for division. So like this, in our next example, this says 24 is greater than -p/4. I know that can kind of confuse a lot of people, so feel free to flip the entire thing. We could put -p/4 is less than 24. But then we'll begin to solve this. So that negative sign probably serve us best to keep it with our number. Draw our line. We're going to multiply each side by -4. Those make +1 on the left side. So now we're left with p. 24 times -4 is going to be -96. But remember our inequality now. This was a less than sign. We now have to flip it to say greater than, because we multiplied or divided by a negative coefficient. So our answer becomes p is greater than -96.